Okay, welcome back. Let's get right into the stock market technical analysis. We're going to look at a couple trade ideas. We're going to look at this market, see what's going on this Monday morning. Guys, before I get into it, I am looking at doing a monthly membership, a member program. I'm going to keep it relatively cheap. I think at $2.99 or $5 a month, something really cheap. But what I would like to do is probably move our Saturday live streams to that membership. And then also what I'll do is I'm going to put together exclusive trade ideas. I give out a lot of good trade ideas on this channel, and most of the stuff I give out for free. You know, I put it out there for everyone to really get involved in the markets and technical analysis. But some of the stuff I'd like to kind of keep for the people that are, you know, that are really focused and are really involved, and they're also, you know, appreciating what the work and time that I'm putting in to get these videos out. So I'm looking at doing that. It's going to be a monthly membership. Again, I'm not going to price it crazy. I'm going to keep it affordable, but it will, you know, it does encourage me and shows me that you guys are interested in the trade ideas and finding good value and reciprocating that value. Okay. So I'm looking at launching that. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. I'm going to, you know, I'll still put out trade ideas on the, you know, the free channel that I have. I'm just going to keep some of the trade ideas, some of the, you know, maybe some of the better setups for the membership. So look for that to come out, and I'm still working through how to set that up, but sometime in the near future. Okay, let's get it right into it, guys. We can look at Amazon, but triple Qs and Amazon is where I want to focus, at least to start us off. All right, on the hourly chart, got a couple things going on. So we have this on the hourly chart. I've got this this bearish rising wedge pattern on the hourly chart. If I look at the RSI right here, and I have to kind of zoom it in, but you can see we also have this negative divergence right here. See how that's just downtrending? And then you can see price is moving higher. So negative divergence, and we have a bearish rising wedge. We're starting to break it. You can see this morning it gapped down and they bought it up for a back test. So I think that's it. You know, I think that's the end of the rally, and I think we're going to correct now or sell off. Moving down, sorry, let me just correct my time frame. I'm not necessarily looking for the end of this rally that started over the last few weeks, but I am looking for a pullback. Minimum target right down here, 308.62 is what I've got. So that's what I'm looking for probably today. Maybe it'll play out tomorrow, but a move down to that 308. From where we're at right now, that's a drop of about, it's about 2.5%. So, you know, small moves, but again, I think there's a good probability that we get that. So I'm looking for that, and potentially a lot more. The trend line, the rally trend line that we started over the last few weeks really is down here. So I've got support all the way down here. And so we could potentially trade down to that trend line down here. So potential for a really good short. I like it. I'm staying short. I started shorting the triple Qs on Friday. Still looks good to me. All right, Amazon. Next up on Amazon, we're really just trading in the same area that we've been after earnings. So earnings last week, we gapped up pretty big, and we've just been chopping around in this area. Today, we popped up and made a slightly new high right here. All right, you can see that slightly new high, but we're building negative divergence now right there on the hourly chart. So you'll notice that on the RSI, we've got negative divergence. Let me look at the PPO real quick just to double check. Zooming in on that if I can get the right tool. Yeah, not quite there. And we don't have a bearish crossover. I'm looking for this to cross like that and maybe start to build this negative divergence. But again, you don't have to have them on both. And we do have it on the RSI. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for a move down now and them to sell into this. Where do we go on Amazon? Well, probably gap fill, you know, at a minimum. I would say at a minimum 130.96, but probably, you know, you could get down to here, 128.75, or potentially all the way down to this like 124-ish area. Okay, so I'm looking for that in Amazon. Overhead, we have the 200-day moving average on Amazon, so there is the potential to continue to build these divergences and move up. and hit that 200, maybe we'll sell down and then rally and continue to build these divergences and hit the 200 and then get rejected. That is there is potential there as well. So I do have a short position on Amazon, looking for some downside here. And Tesla started to build a short position in Tesla. Now, Tesla does not really have negative divergence on the daily, but let's go to the hourly, and you can see here that we do have it right there. Let me just confirm. Yeah, it's pretty much there. So we made an equal high in momentum. So there's your former high. There's your equal high. It's actually slightly lower, but yet higher price. So price is moving up, trending up. Momentum is starting to trend down, or at least flat on the RSI. And if I zoom in on the PPO, you can see there's a negative divergence right there. So it looks like we're poised to get that bearish crossover like that and confirm that negative divergence. So lower momentum in the PPO. Not fully confirmed, but looks like it's going to, and yet price is moving higher. So that's negative divergence. So we should trade down to this trend line here on the hourly, and that would be the break. You'd want to look for a break of this trend line. We break that, then going back to the daily, we should trade down to about right there. I would say 781. Okay, we'll call it 781 as the, for a move down. And from where we're at right now, that's a drop of about 13% or so. So that's the trade idea that I like on Tesla. The other thing that you'll notice is we're running right into the 200-day moving average. Here it is right up here. I've got it circled. Boom, gapped up. We moved up, went above it today, but the sellers are stepping in and selling it down. So looks like we've got a doji candle right here, which is a potential reversal candle. We look for confirmation or more selling in the next candle. And this is a daily chart. So tomorrow, if you see more selling, that's going to be your confirmation that this is a reversal. And then we should get that move down to that 780. So I like that for a trade, short-term trade. Maybe it lasts just a couple days, but that's a trade setup that I do like. Okay, Apple, another big, market-moving stock. They reported earnings last week. They were up about 3% after earnings. Nothing huge, but look at what's going on here on the daily. So we gapped up above the 200 after earnings, and we're just kind of trading right up here above the 200, hitting major resistance, which is this red trend line you see here. If I roll out, you'll notice that this was big support for, over a year, basically, this trend line. We hit it many times. I've got them all circled. There's another tag of it there. We finally broke, and there's the back test. We're back testing that from below. So that should be big resistance there. And if I look at the hourly chart, you'll notice that, let me kind of clean this up just slightly, and you'll notice in the hourly chart that we're popping and making kind of just slightly new highs in price, just equal highs basically, and yet we're starting to lose momentum right there on the RSI. So negative divergence showing up, and then on the PPO, it's kind of slightly there. It looks like we're going to get that bearish crossover. So from my perspective, I suspect that that this is the top in Apple. And so the others, the triple Qs can continue to kind of grind higher, and maybe some of these other tech stocks can move higher. But the big movers, I think, have made their move. Apple, from the lows, the most recent lows, is up 26% off the lows. So I think that's the end of the bear market rally in Apple. All right, and if it's the end in the rally in Apple, then the end is probably near in the general market as well, because this is the largest stock in the stock market, and so we start to see selling here, then the rest will follow. Gold. Okay, so gold continuing to kind of grind higher. Looks like we're above this resistance. Let's see how we close the day, but we had a level 1755. Seems like we're kind of trading above that. We have this is a trend line that was established right here. So we could be trading up to that 1807 area as the next level of resistance. Gold still looks okay. The miners is really where I'm focused on. If you look at GDX, zooming in, bullish falling wedge pattern right here on the miners. big bullish divergence, and this is a daily chart, so it's signaling the next, tradable swing trade basically. When you see stuff show up on the daily, it's usually good for weeks, maybe even months for a trade. And we've got bullish divergence. We have a bullish falling wedge. There's a breakout today. You can see it. It's just not that impulsive. This is a breakout, but it's not impulsive enough for me to jump on that. So let's see how it closes. If they step in and buy into the close, and you rally up 3% or so, and you kind of close with a nice solid green candle, then that would be your breakout and buy signal, and that should signal a move higher in the miners, starting that next leg higher, I think. Until then, we'll see how it closes, but looking good so far. And then the dollar, that's the one thing. You're probably going to get a pullback in gold because the dollar's at support right now. This is the DXY. And we're looking at a daily chart here. You've got support, and right there at support again. So I suspect we'll get at least a reaction here. Probably a little, buyers should see this and probably step in and buy the dollar. I do think the dollar is going to break this trend line. We have negative divergence that's been building for a while on the daily chart on both the RSI and the PPO. So I suspect after this reaction, or if we get a reaction, nothing says we have to, but here's how I think it'll look. You get a little buying step in, maybe a day or two, and then we come down and break. Okay? And that likely will be bullish for gold. So maybe gold pulls back just, in the near term and then continues to rally. Roku is kind of interesting. Again, this is a buy signal basically. So if you wanted to take it, in my opinion, it seems like it could make sense. I'm not so sure if I'm going to do it. I want to see how the day closes. I think the triple Qs is going to sell off, so I'm just kind of hesitant here. But you can see here, bullish falling wedge pattern, broke out, back tested once, and then on earnings gapped down, but boom, we recovered that trend line. So this could be an objective back test for a nice strong rally, maybe even up to the 200-day. So something to look for there. Again, bullish divergence was building on the RSI and the PPO, so it's definitely a bullish setup. My hesitation comes for the fact that Apple, the big behemoth tech stock, and the triple Qs both look like they're going to at least correct or sell off. And so that gives me a little hesitation on some of these growth stocks. If I start seeing a lot of these ARK Invest stocks, and I talked about this on my live stream, a lot of them have not participated in this rally. They've just been going sideways. We can flip over to ARK. And they're just kind of drifting sideways. If I start to see participation in these things and they start to rip higher, then I might pick one or two of them and jump on the momentum. I do think that if we see a rally in these stocks, it's likely the indication that the end of the bear market rally is over. So oftentimes you'll see the big leaders, the strong stocks like FANG, rally first, and then the weak growth stocks that are kind of speculative in nature, they follow behind after the masses get complacent thinking that the rally is the trip to all-time new highs. They'll start jumping into the ones where they think there's the most opportunity for growth. And that's these speculative ARK Invest names. So if we see that tells me that that's likely the end of the bear market rally. But I don't see it yet, so we'll keep an eye out for whatever happens there. Oil is kind of interesting. So here on the daily chart, this is the trend that we've seen on oil starting back in about November of 2020. Support, and held support here, but boom, looks like we're breaking. So let's see how the day closes. They sold it right down to the 200-day moving average, which is sitting at about 94.32 on the oil futures, CL. If the buyers step in and they can recover it, then it's a false breakdown. But as of right now, it looks like a sell signal in oil. And this is what I think is happening. I think the ag commodities, I think oil being a commodity as well, I think they're going into a corrective phase within an ongoing bull market. So the commodities started a bull market, but they've got you need corrections in the everybody. It was a crowded trade. Everybody had piled into the commodities late to the party. Well, now it's time for a correction in that bull market. So I think we're going to continue lower in oil and some of these ag commodities, and correct a little bit longer. Okay, that's all I see for today. So I'm going to get the video guys out. Drop me a thumbs up. If you're interested in learning this as a skill set, check out my stock market technical analysis course. It's about 4 to 5 hours of video trainings where I break it out into each section. And then at the end, I give you guys a full checklist to really, check off your trade setups. So there's some real value there. Link in the description below if you're interested in that. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.